All right, welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're cracking open the playbook on one of the most high-stakes games in the tech world, how to recruit elite sales talent for AI companies. And trust me, if you get this wrong, the consequences are, well, they're huge.
So let's just start with the big, scary question that hangs over this whole topic. It's a number that should make any hiring manager, any founder, just stop and think for a second. Because we are not just talking about a wasted salary here. No. We're talking about a whole year of lost momentum, of deals that should have been yours going to a competitor, and a pipeline that's been seriously damaged. It is, quite literally, a $1 million mistake.
So the big question is, how do you avoid making that $1 million mistake? Well, that's what we're going to break down. We'll look at why this job is so different, who actually does the hiring, what the best of the best really do, how they get paid, and finally, how to dodge the most common costly pitfalls. All right, let's get into it.
First things first, you have to understand that hiring an AI salesperson is not, and I repeat, not like hiring for any other tech sales role. This isn't just another SaaS recruiting gig. It needs a completely different kind of expert. And here's why. A generalist recruiter, someone who's great at hiring for other roles, they just won't cut it here. Sure, they might find someone who can talk a good game, but can they take incredibly complex AI technology and translate it into real, tangible business results? That is the skill we're looking for. That's the whole ballgame.
And if you want to know why that translation skill is so critical, just look at who they're selling to. It's not one person. It's a whole committee of skeptics. You've got the CTO, the data lead, the CFO, the compliance officer, each one with a deep, technical, and potentially deal-killing question. Your salesperson has to speak all of their languages fluently.
Okay, so let's meet the team that's actually tasked with finding these unicorns, because it's not a one-person show. It's a coordinated effort with very different players handling very different parts of the puzzle.
You can really think of the two main roles as having totally different missions. You've got the talent acquisition specialist. They're all about volume, building that early pipeline, screening lots of candidates. But then you have the senior sales recruiter. They're not about volume. They're a sniper, executing these surgical, high-stakes searches for the absolute best people, who, by the way, are almost never looking for a new job.
And then, overseeing the whole operation, you have the manager. This person isn't in the trenches hunting for candidates day to day. They're the architect. They are building the entire machine, designing the system, and making sure the company's grand vision has the sales talent it needs to actually happen.
So what is it that separates the truly great recruiters from the merely good ones? I'll tell you what it's not. It's not luck. It's a disciplined playbook built around two fundamental truths about where to find and how to vet this kind of elite talent.
I mean, just look at this. The data is crystal clear. A staggering 82% of the best hires are passive. They're not scrolling through job boards. They are not applying to your open role. You have to go out and find them. If your strategy is just post and pray, you are missing out on more than 4/5 of the best talent. Think about that.
And this is how the pros do it. It's not about spamming inboxes. It's a patient, personalized, and respectful process. You start with a simple, non-salesy connection. A few days later, you follow up, but you reference something specific they did. You show you've done your homework. And then, and this is key, you know when to stop. Persistence is good, but spamming just burns bridges.
But, finding them is really only half the battle. Once you get their attention, how do you really know they have what it takes? How do you know they can handle that tough buying committee we just talked about?
The answer is a structured, evidence-based interview. You don't ask them vague, hypothetical questions. No. You ask them to break down a real deal they closed. You dig in, you want to hear the specifics about their champion, the toughest technical pushback they got, and exactly how they justified the price. A great candidate will have these stories ready. A weak one, well, they'll give you fluff.
So, given how incredibly difficult and important this all is, you might be wondering, the pay must be pretty good, right? Well, you would be right. The rewards are significant, and the path for career growth can be incredibly fast.
I mean, the numbers really speak for themselves here. These roles are pulling a 15 to 25% premium over a typical tech recruiting job. But you know what's really telling? The equity. Companies are giving out actual ownership, even to non-managers, because they know that finding the people who find the talent is just that valuable. And the career path can be a rocket ship. In a fast-growing AI company, a really sharp person can go from a junior coordinator role all the way up to a strategic manager in just a handful of years. And from there, they could end up running the entire talent show as a VP.
Okay, let's bring it all home. Let's look at the 3 most common traps, the things that companies do that lead directly to that million-dollar hiring mistake we started with.
These are the absolute classic blunders. First, hiring someone just because their resume has a big, fancy company logo on it, totally ignoring that a startup is a different beast. Second, falling for charisma and gut feel instead of using that structured, evidence-based interview we just talked about. And third, just being too slow. The best people have options, lots of them. If you drag your feet, you will lose.
So what's the fix for all of this? It's one word. It's right there. Process. A truly elite recruiter isn't just a great judge of people. No, they are the guardian of a rigorous, repeatable, and fast system that stops these mistakes from ever being made in the first place.
And at the end of the day, you have to remember this. Your hiring process is a product demo. It's a demo of your company's culture, your efficiency, your respect for people's time. A slow, sloppy, disorganized process sends a very loud and clear signal, and it's not a good one. The best candidates see that, and they walk.
Which really just leaves us with one final critical question for you to think about. Is your hiring process a competitive advantage, an asset that helps you attract the absolute best? Or is it a silent liability, quietly turning away the very people you need to win?